Well, in everybody's favorite segment, we've got an incredible inquiry today.
Great.
Maybe the best ever. I will let you assess it, but it is presented by sunbum.com because we trust in the bum to protect us. Not only our sun protection, but they have skincare stuff now. They have hair care stuff now. It's an incredible suite of products from Sunbum.
It's fall tonight, and or autumn. Next comes winter and chapped lips. Sunbomb makes incredible chapstick.
That's right. They do make a
Lip
bunch of
balm, I
chapstick.
should
We
call
got
it. I think chapstick is TM'd.
yeah, lip balm. We've got a ton of it in the house. Lauren leaves that. I mean, she uses that stuff everywhere, and then of course keeps little vials of it everywhere, just so she doesn't. If she loses one place, she has some somewhere else.
Great idea.
And she's a huge fan of that. Anyways, we got a promo code with them, 15% off, and that is Surf Splendor 15 on sunbum.com. Of course, they sell it at hardcore retailers, all retailers actually. Surf Retail seems to carry it. You can buy it nationally at CVS, Target, all that, but sunbum.com is where you save 15%. Okay, listener inquiry. Quote, gents, I've got a concern. I was on the sofa scrolling when I was fed an ad by Laird Superfoods. Laird's chiseled tan image caught me, and I stopped to watch. He was sitting at the counter, and Gabby walks over with a cup of pumpkin spiced creamed coffee. She sits down, and in unison, they take a sip, nod approvingly at one another. And I'll be damned if it didn't look like Laird was looking straight into a mirror. Maybe through shared workouts, maybe through their shared diet, but Laird and Gabby have morphed into one person. Gabby's musculature has increased over the years, and Laird's sun-kissed blonde locks are a mere 6 inches shorter than Gabby's, but certainly by mid-January they will match too. Almost aghast, I turned to share this epiphany with my wife. And lo and behold, I saw for the first time a version of me staring right back. We've been married for 22 years, and if I look back at our wedding photos, there is a noticeable transition that has taken place in these 2 decades. We've swapped plenty of DNA in those years, but never did I think that the results would transform our appearances. How is this happening? And by the way, she's gorgeous, so I wouldn't be fighting it. I shouldn't be fighting it, but what if she morphs more towards me and I spoil her beauty? Science has been of no help as I've researched this matter, so please, boys, do your thing.
Wow. This is the most important question for our time, David Lee Scales.
It's a thing, I feel like.
It's a total thing.
How do you, I think his question that he didn't fully address here
How
do you not morph into your spouse?
Here's the thing. Trust in us, David Lee Scales. I have advice. Okay, it's really important, right? You long-term date or marry spouse person, right? You guys live together, and exactly as he said, you eat the same or similar food. You probably like to do the same activities. A lot of the time, you will go on ski vacations, right? Maybe you both like to surf, etc., all down the line. You eventually, if you're the dude, you're going to start using her product, soap, all that. You're not out there buying your own soap, right? Toothpaste, like all of this is the same. Eventually, you start drinking pumpkin spice lattes, Laird Superfood together, and staring into each other's eyes. Okay, here's where, as the man, I'm going to say, but also if you're the woman listening to this, then take this on too. You need to have a hard pivot on certain things based specifically on not looking like your spouse. You also have to maintain, especially if you're a man, you have to maintain your own fashion integrity. The wife will be perpetually, I like you in these, I like you in that, I like you in those. Buying you things, sort of dumbing down, I feel. Not dumbing down, softening the hard edges. If you look at yourself when you first met or were with your significant other, I'm sure there was all kinds of unique style flair, right? That's all gone away now because you are a version of her. And so she's making you look like a version of her, right? Yep. So as a man, uncomfortably even, You have to choose to wear things that really, like, you have to force yourself into different clothing habits. Number one, grooming habits. If she says, I like your hair this way, sorry about it. You know, you don't have to do this on all the things. Like, take some of the advice. Take, I'll say, 75% of the advice, but leave 25% where you, even if you say you're right, because that's the problem here. Laird is happy to look like Gabby. Gabby is happy to look like they're not aware of it. You lose awareness at a certain point. I think you have a vision of yourself as still unique and individual, but no, you are Labby is what you are. You are Labby Heese.
Gared.
You are Garrett Ramilton. And in order to not be that, it's a concerted effort every day. So that's the clothing element and the style element. And then also, I think as a man, you have to choose a pastime or activity that's going to hone you in a different way that you otherwise wouldn't be honed. Like, my wife ain't a runner, so I run, right? There's certain things you can do to, like, actually force body change that will be different.
Yeah. Because
That's
you're
my
right.
advice.
You're right. Gabby and Laird are doing the exact same workouts every day. They've branded it.
Yeah.
They're wearing Laird clothing, I'm sure, every day. They're eating the exact same things. It's just, it makes sense that they would then morph into one another. And I gave you that, I think it was a barrel or not, a few weeks back about a friend, male friend, who is getting Botox.
Yes.
By his wife's, request.
Because she has Botox, for sure.
Exactly. And so that's where we need to really tease it apart, because some of the fashion, if you look back at the photo when you first met, and the fashion risks some of the fashion risks you used to take were wrong, and her guidance has actually improved your look, let's say.
Completely.
And so when she says you should use a moisturizer, that's okay. That's a reasonable request. Where is the dividing line between moisturizer and Botox?
I mean, or where is the dividing line? I think as each individual has to think, where is the dividing line between either moisturizer or Botox and looking like your wife, right? Where you make those decisions, again, I'm going to say it's 75%. Like 25% of the stuff you have to say no. And I think it can be totally random. A totally random 25% will keep you enough different looking. I think there's some things that fudge that, like Botox, I think, sends you right on your way to looking like your wife almost instantly. That takes you basically all the way there. No matter what else you're doing,
that's the fast track. Yeah, that is the fast track. I'll tell you where the dividing line is. It's when you're at dinner and she wants to order the exact same thing off the menu that you are ordering.
Yes.
Hell no. I'm now changing my order, or I'll tell you what's your second choice? I'll get your second choice, you get your first choice, and now we have two separate things that we're eating, Like, there has to be division of food intake, division of, like you said, exercise habits, division of activities that you enjoy.
I think division of vices too. Like, if your wife is a weed smoker, drink booze. Yeah. If she likes to drink booze, I don't know, chew mushrooms.
I agree. I almost got duped into going to see Taylor Swift this year.
See, you would have started to look so much more like
I would have been
Lauren.
Yeah, I would have been singing Swift songs on probably Snapchat, not even knowing, because I don't even have Snapchat, but on her Snapchat, swinging Swift songs, looking like a doppelganger.
Yep. It's
and
important.
So I put my foot down and I'm like, I'm down. I love that you like Taylor Swift. By all means, go hard. And I'm going to go over here and convince you why Bob Dylan's a far superior songwriter. Yeah.
I mean, exactly. And again, though, none of this, you think, dear listener, that this happens automatically. None of this has to be a conscious decision every day not to become Garrett.
Yeah, I agree. Because it does slowly kind of creep in. You find yourself watching the same shows and looking forward to it. Like, hey, we're going to catch up tonight on whatever it is.
Exactly. It is. That's another really important one too. Like, the wife these days has, for some reason, rediscovered Grey's Anatomy. I treat Grey's Anatomy as if it was a mirror unto hell. Like, I do not cast my gaze upon that show at all. Like, I know if I get sucked into Grey's Anatomy, I honestly might as well dye my hair purple like the wife has it and wear Chanel pantsuits.
That is so funny. Lauren's obsessed with it too. Not currently, but like
Yeah.
2 years ago, she was fully in, like binging it
Grays.
probably for the 10th time.
Yeah.
There's
No.
something. I mean, is it mainly females that watch Grey's Anatomy?
It's
Is it
got
a sex thing, a gender thing?
if I would like encourage, I mean, call in under a pseudonym, but I would love to hear one of our male listeners, like if they like Grey's Anatomy, what do they like about it? I hate everything about Grey's Anatomy.
I've never even seen an episode. I'm proud to say.
I mean, thankfully, a long time ago, I had to sit through a couple, but this latest iteration, she'll like watch it in the car when I'm driving, so I'll hear the banter and remember why I hated it so much. Is that Shonda Rhimes? I hate her writing. It's like every line, like no line is like just a throwaway. Everything is the most clever thing anyone's ever said in their life, right? Like every one of them. It's just that clever banter nonstop.
Okay, I've got one final question for you regarding this Laird conversation. Is it good for your sex life if you morph into the same person? Do people ultimately want to have sex with themselves, or is it detrimental to your sex life if you end up being the exact same person?
I think it's detrimental because I think especially as the man becoming the woman, you've been fully neutered. And if the woman becomes a man, which man, if they're cisgendered, which wants to sleep with a dude? And so it goes bad either way. You're either fully neutered or like, I think rarely I mean, Laird and Gabby are a special case. I think I'm morphing into Laird, essentially. I guess Laird's, I mean, I guess they both morphed into, Laird is like a total 50-50 of them both.
It's almost it's like it's on a different plane.
Yeah, they're
It's like a third species.
exactly,
almost.
which clear
Or
it's
a
them.
third gender.
I think for the average person, they either become, and I think I would say 9 times out of 10, the dude starts looking like the wife,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
then you are a neutered man. Like it is not sexy.
I'm inclined to think that too. Like, if you become one, you're almost it's a blander version. It's a blander experience, and so there is less the opposites attract kind of.
Yeah, the tension,
What is
the
that?
spark.
Yeah, the spark or the fission, or I don't know what the right word is, but there is something about that creates a tension that is like, you know
That
what?
seeks release.
Yes, exactly. But I can't speak to it because I've never morphed into one. But because there could be some other worldly, like, like I said, do people want to? Is there some, I don't know, vestige of early human evolution that just wants to have sex with yourself, and you're just like, and then you achieve some new, like, we're into some really freaky stuff, like, I know it normally is this way penetration, but now that my wife is almost like me and I'm almost like her, things get wild in the bedroom. You know what I mean?
That could be. Love to hear. Love to hear.
Yeah, feel free. Chime in. Laird, you have our DM. You've DM'd us before. Let us know how this goes. Well, thanks, Sunbum. I mean, without Sunbum, we wouldn't get these incredible inquiries from listeners.
No, we wouldn't, and we wouldn't help people. Imagine, I imagine we're going to help a large, like, people are on the highway to looking like spouse, and they realized, oh, oops, I got to make some hard decisions here. I got to go start chewing skull.
Exactly. I wonder, though, do people realize it? They realize it when it's too late.
They
like
realize
this,
when they're too late. This is preemptive. You got to cut this off because it's happening. It's happening whether you think it is or not. So examine your life and make some hard 25% different choices.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the moment where you're sitting on the couch 22 years in or whatever it was and like look over and have that realization, it's too late. So I'm going to have to be documenting with photographs every day, Lauren's appearance and mine, and making sure, like, taking little measurements and assuring. And then again, making decisions, proactive decisions in life to do opposite things. So great advice. Sunbum.com, promo code SurfSplendor15, save 15%. Thank you, Sunbum.